Welcome back to the Gold Blab. We have yet to be canceled. Adam Kramer, Kevin Lindsay, and we are joined by another special guest. And when we say special, we're going to say that about everybody. This person is special to us, Mr. Chad Schrump. Now, I suppose we should let you introduce yourself, but I'll do a little brief overview of my interpretation of you. So Chad has been a friend of the program for a really long time and has played both the arcade game and now has become one of the biggest voices. And we're going to tap into this guy's beautiful, beautiful voice. And it is beautiful. I'm envious of it at the Mobile Worlds. And obviously we have a big mobile tournament coming up this weekend. So Chad, welcome to the program. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Adam. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys reaching out to me. What made to join you on your, what is it, the fifth show? Is this the fifth one?
This might be six.
Yeah, we're doing so many, we can't keep count.
Yeah. To all the haters out there that thought we were going to skip a week, it's coming soon, but not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll happen
maybe
eventually.
In June. Maybe in June it might have to be skipped.
No, we'll just do a live one with everybody.
Yeah. No, we're having fun. I mean, we're having fun doing this, but I will say some of the feedback we've gotten is, hey, mobile is kind of a big deal. You're qualifying for this world championship and we should give it some love. You've obviously been around the game a long time. We were talking about like your introduction, but how did you get into Golden Tee on the arcade side? And then what was it that you morphed over to mobile? Like, what was it about it that you were so intrigued by?
Well, I started playing like in the late 90s, and a really good friend of mine, his name's Donnie Peters. He ran a bar on the west side of Indy, and I'd go up there and hang out. And if they were super busy, I'd just go and play pool or do something for a few minutes. And he said, "Man, you need to try that golf game out." I said, "All right." And man, I was halfway decent pretty quickly, where I kind of gravitated towards it a lot, where I'm like, I want to play this thing. And it just became, you know how it is. I mean, it's an obsession. You want to get better and better, and you can't perfect it. No matter how well you play, you still think about 2 or 3 shots that could have been better. You could add a better round than you even did. And that's the kind of stuff that just drives you to keep playing. And then friends started playing it too. And before long, I mean, I had some, like Rodney Roberts would play with me all the time. And a lot of the North Side guys, years later would start playing, the Matt Cavanaugh, Mike Johnstons of the world. And, that's even grown on that side of town. So it was a great time playing Golden Tee. And then all of a sudden, Adam, Kevin, I'm like, man, I'm making my next move. I'm really going to start playing cabinet again, really hardcore. I'm going to play hard. And then like a month later, pandemic hits. I'm like, what am I going to do now? And Greg Kinsler sends me a text. Dude, mobile has a Worlds. I'm like, what? And then from there, Evan Gossett, Kinsler, and I were trying to learn this game at like rapid fire pace. And we absolutely, at the time, we loved it. Now, I don't know how much Evan loved it, but I do know that Kins and I bet you, not kidding, I bet Kins and I would send 500-600 texts a day just trying to figure out shots and sharing shots and trying to get better very quickly, because there was a Worlds coming and we had to qualify for it. And we were nowhere near ready to qualify for Worlds yet.
Well, oh wow, somebody's actually calling my office phone. That's a good blooper. We'll keep that in.
People still use that?
This is proof that the office phones are actually used. Wow.
Yeah, but we do work in an office. We are doing a job occasionally. You could have fooled us. We were just talking about that. Nobody uses office phones anymore.
Yeah, it's all right though.
A true unicorn.
But Schrump, for you, let's go back. Obviously, with the arcade side, I think there's a fun photo that that's floating around in the internet somewhere from many moons ago. Competing in the national championships. Before there was a world championship for Golden Tee, before Golden Tee Mobile or mobile games were even a thing in the late 90s. How did how did it go from playing with your buddies locally to, oh shit, there's national tournaments. I could win money. Obviously you're potentially winning money in the monthly tournaments on the game, but what got you to start traveling to these tournaments, and what keeps you going when it comes to those?
Well, it's kind of maybe twofold, and I don't know, once I start blabbing here, it might be threefold, but I started playing a place called Rockets on the east side of Indianapolis, and I started seeing these regional and national tournaments, like these leaderboards would pop up, and I thought, I'm halfway decent at this. Let me start playing some of this stuff. And I'd play it and win this little bitty prize, every month. And then I got on the ITS Games website. I think that's what it was, itsgames.com. And there was a forum.
Still is.
I'm like, holy crap. I mean, like, there are so many people like me here that are like totally just mesmerized by this game. I had no clue. I mean, I just had no clue. And reached out and started talking to guys from Chicago. And then we went out to, I can't remember what year it was, guys, maybe 2000, maybe 99. And that is where I met Ryan Bourgeois and Casey Brock and all these characters. And Casey starts talking about he's got his own website called Golden Blab. And then he had a little super secret forum that a few of us were privy to. And then we started creating tournaments. And I remember Steve Sobey had a tournament in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and Dean Leakakos ended up having a tournament. Chicago had a tournament. And all of a sudden there's like 100, 150 guys going to these tournaments. And it was just unbelievable that there were so many people like me that were just completely obsessed by a trackball and some buttons. It was pretty wild.
So obviously, thinking back now, going back to when we were engineering Golden Tee Mobile, and we had originally outsourced this game, and it was trying to get the feel right, and it didn't work because in the moment, and it was on, I was involved from a very, very far distance. It's like you can't mimic the feel of Golden Tee across X number of devices, across multiple platforms, etc. So then we say, okay, well, your pullback's going to be your distance, right? We're going to be very honest that this is inspired by Golden Tee, and if you play Golden Tee, you'll know the game, but it'll be very, very different. So you talked about you and Greg sending these texts and learning the game, and we'll talk a little bit about the commentary and everything else. But what was the transition like to learn how to play mobile when it was basically a math equation, right? Like how long did it take you to get to a point where you say good, not where you are now, but good at the game?
I don't think it took me that long because it was, I'm not kidding. I bet I was playing 8 hours a day, and so was Greg. I mean, and so were a lot of people. Pandemic, what else are you doing? So the really weird stuff to me was I couldn't overpower anything, and I do still to this day. There's holes that, the mobile courses are the same as the arcade courses. We all know that, and there's holes where I know right now I could get up right now, guys, and just crank a perfect 180, and I can hit it onto the green. I mean, I can still hit it pretty well. On mobile, it's not happening. I got to leave myself a shot that sets up for some kind of little stinger, which, by the way, has really evolved in everyone's games. I mean, that's kind of like, what do you guys call it? The chush in arcade. It's a similar shot that's been developed in mobile. And all the math stuff, though, honestly, I mean, there was math being used back then, but that has really, really, over the last year and a half, become an equation game more than anything. The Barrett Dettermans of the world and Sam Hines, that they'll tell you hit this Oberg 3.5% longer than what the yardage tells you, minus 20 yards. I don't even know all the calculations on some of that stuff. It's just, it'll go right to the hole. It's just crazy, depending on elevation, wind, and it's just a lot to learn, but it's fun. It still keeps me playing. And it still scratches more than anything. It scratches that itch for me, that competitive itch that I think a lot of us have, and it doesn't go away. I mean, I'm 51 years old now. I can't believe that, but I am. And I'm still right now to this day as competitive as I was when I was 21. I mean, I am. And going to Chicago this weekend to battle it out on our phones and iPads in the Chicago tournament, the Windy City Showdown, it's the third one. I think they're expecting 45 to 50 people there. I mean, it just keeps going and going. I mean, you find a way to be competitive in a game like Golden Tee, and I love it.
Well, talk to us a bit more. And obviously there's a handful of people that really deserve credit when it comes to, taking mobile, just like it's done on the arcade side for many years, taking mobile. Okay, IT has their world championship, but the players, we want to do our own thing. And of course, we'll support along the way. There'll be a live stream this weekend and all that. But, this is very much a 90-95% player driven event. And, as somebody who works with events and trade shows, and a lot of people out there know, there's a lot of work that you don't see. Like, you go to a tournament, like a Golden Tee Arcade tournament, you see Steve Sobel, Paige Gossett, Russell Layton, all run around the entire weekend. With mobile, it's a little bit different, but there's still an absolute ton of legwork that goes into that. So, between you and all the guys that are really making this happen, how does that get put together?
They have a council. If I start naming names, I'm going to miss some guys, but I will tell you, like the Larry Fosters of the world, Jason Jumps, Micah Middleton, Matt Shulkin, and there's a lot more. Joel Wilburn. I think Tony Johnson's a part of the Windy City Showdown Council. So they kind of organize that whole deal and put plans in place. And then when we get on site, that is when my good friend Joel Wilburn will really take over the techno side of things, and he'll keep score of everything. He's a brilliant guy. He's one of the smartest friends I have, and he will run most of that tournament on his laptop. I mean, he's just great at it. And then obviously he'll work lockstep with Andy Coleman and make sure that all that runs smoothly and well together. So it's and even the prizes. I mean, that's all crowdsourced, right? I think we have $15,000 in prizes, and it's all raised by the players. They have done all of that themselves, and I think that's pretty phenomenal, to be honest.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know that is crazy.
Running these things is hard. Okay, like these weekends are long for everybody. I think Power has kind of cornered the market on how to run a Golden Tee tournament, and maybe there's I don't want to say taking it for granted, but the work that goes into the planning, and like we're in the thick of this for Worlds, by the way, so it's that on steroids. It's robust. But let's talk about Worlds. So let's talk about specifically not just Worlds, but like one of the cool things for both of us, because Kevin and I will do commentary with you both through mobile and the arcade side. We've done this for years now, and obviously Longino and others. But on the mobile side, I'm kind of in awe. I think I understand the arcade game enough to speak about it. I probably can't do to the holes, but the science, back to kind of the math component of this, and how natural it was from the start. I remember the first year we did this, and all of us sitting together, and you saying, "Well, it's going to hit this at like 91%," and it's like, "What the fuck?" Like, okay, buddy, yeah. Like, okay, yeah, 91% sure, and then sure enough, they pull it back 90%, and they'd be a foot short, right? Or, and it was pretty spectacular. So on the commentary side, I know it's a lot of work. I've seen you battle hurt when you had allergies and been sick.
Allergies or COVID, whichever it was. I don't know which.
Whatever it was. We were there sharing in the glory together.
Yeah.
How much do you enjoy that? Because it's obviously something everybody loves hearing you do it, and you seem to enjoy doing it.
I love it. First off, I appreciate you guys having me do that every year. I really do. I mean, it's just one of those things where, I talked about scratching that competitive itch. Well, this is a different itch for me. It's the broadcasting side, the sports broadcasting specifically, because I did do that in high school. I did play-by-play of our football and basketball teams, and then I went to college for that and did that for the University of Indianapolis as well. And just one of my biggest regrets is the fact I did not try to do that professionally. I ended up getting a job in management at Ford Motor Company, and I mean, I've been somewhat successful in the manufacturing world, but not to do the sports broadcasting and stuff like that. It's just been one of those things I think about from time to time, like, man, you only get to live life one time. And that is my one kind of fuck up that I wish I would have seen what I could do, because I still have these dreams, guys. And you go ahead and laugh at me, but I'm telling you,
it's great. Hey. That's where we step in and we say, hey, let's call some Golden Tee together, buddy.
Well, and by the way, I didn't know a lot of this till now. I can tell. We can tell. I mean, you just have a voice that's very easy to listen to. I feel like my voice is like, hey, this guy just got done smoking 10,000 cigarettes and eating a pound of concrete. But no, it's very natural for you. And for those of us who take all of this very serious, it's actually not funny. It's kind of inspiring in a very nerdy trackball way, because we do it too. It's also a long day, right? Like, so when you're doing this commentary, And I've been thinking about this already for Vegas because we're combining mobile and amusement. I'm going to come home and I'm going to sound like shit for 2 weeks, and you guys are going to as well, by the way, just as a spoiler alert. But
thanks for the reminder.
So like, your prep, like, does this all something, because I know our friend, Mr. Longino, he ingrains himself in it, in the history, and a lot of it comes naturally now. The guy knows so much about this game and the history, and it's amazing. Is it the course prep? Is it stuff that that flows? What do you do to get ready for a Worlds event, which I know obviously means a lot to you?
For the mobile side, I just kind of look at the names, and I'll get online and, Golden Tee Mobile, the league, we're in our 20th season, and that's, 3 or 4 or 5 seasons per year. And we've got a hell of a database of data. It's a lot of scoring and GT par average, and how many holeouts players get, what they're. There's a lot of stuff there. Course records, what you're good at, what course is your worst. I mean, you can pull all that data up, and I do that prior to Mobile Worlds, and mostly for not necessarily the Tony Johnsons of the world and I don't know, the really good players. It's not that you don't have to be a good player to get to Worlds, you are, but the lesser known guys, I need to be able to talk to some of their strengths, some of their weaknesses, and be able to sound as solid as for them as maybe I would for Tony Johnson. Because that's the goal, is just to make sure everyone has equal footing when we're talking about them and how they play. And just, I'm not going on and on and on about Whammy. I can say the same thing about, say, Conky B, or I can talk about MBS 21 versus, Barrett. I just want to be able to speak intelligently about all of them. Now, when I get to the arcade side, I tell Gino, dude, and Adam, I told you, hey, you're going to have to carry me on some of this. I don't know this as well as I know mobile. You guys know that going in. Now I can go play it, not to that level, but I can't really, like some of the shots they pull off right now in arcade, I'll be flat out honest with you, I haven't tried them. There's some I have not even tried because I haven't seen some of those guys in quite a while. And, some of the stuff they pull off, I can almost be speechless. It's probably not recommended when you're doing a broadcast, though.
Well, it's a balance, though, because when it comes to mobile, you help Adam and I kind of fit better into that, that landscape, because we are playing arcade so much and around it and knee deep in the development of it. We sometimes just let John Noble go off in his own little, space when it comes to Golden Tee Mobile, and it pays off. There's some cool things they're doing. No, but we love John, but you got to throw in the John Noble jag in the podcast.
That's John Mobile.
John Mobile.
Yeah, it's John Mobile.
The man with the gif of him falling on stage, which is one of the greatest World Championship moments ever.
Right in front of Riley Hitchcock. Right in front of him. Just fell
right in front of him. Watching the man just shame dash across his face. And also, I think he kind of hurt himself. That part less funny.
Yeah.
But it's nice because now, producer Matt can literally put the GIF and the video
we have the GIF
in this.
Oh, yeah.
So John will love us for it.
Yeah, that needs to be in there. If you don't know what we're talking about, you will momentarily.
Yeah, just here. Somewhere here.
If there's any reason to listen to this other than to hear your beautiful voice and Adam and I's, it's to see that GIF and to learn more about this weekend.
It's good. Yeah.
So, for this weekend, what are your expectations? Like, what are your expectations going in? And I like asking you this because you've played in Worlds and tried to commentate, and I feel like, honestly, at sometimes you've sacrificed like your playing ability for the better of the commentary, which we obviously really appreciate. And you, if you ask a lot of Golden Tee players after their losses, like, "Hey, buddy, how'd that go?" You'll get a response. And I remember Lost came in, sat down, we talked through some of it, and you were elegant on it, and then it was on your way. That is not easy to do if you care about something. By the way, if anybody out there, I always feel bad for coaches, at halftime, they're losing by 10. It's like, hey, buddy, sucks out there, huh? Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
So, but for you this weekend, what are your expectations in terms of play and anything else involved?
Well, first off, when you talk about kind of speaking to, the loss, the last, Matt Shulkin knocked me out of Worlds last time with a dick. And I remember sitting down and I'm like, okay, you're done. You played about as poorly as you could play, but you were truly here to broadcast Worlds. I mean, that was the number one thing. Honestly, was my goal was to broadcast Worlds and stream it, whatever you want to say, and do a really good job at that. And then, however I fared in Worlds would just been kind of icing on the cake because I'm not an iPad player. I'm an iPhone player, and you know that when you get to those late rounds, and it's going to be stream matches, it will be on iPad. Unfortunately, that's just the way we've done it. I'm hoping. Matter of fact, ask Andy. I pester him relentlessly on how do we get an iPhone involved where we can truly find out who the best player in the world is. Because right now it's going to be very difficult for anybody other than an iPad player to win it, and that's okay. But anyway, I digress. But so this weekend in Chicago, my goal is to have a good time. That is truly the goal, because you know how you go to a cabinet tournament and it's people that know each other and pretty much love each other. I mean, there's great camaraderie and friendships, and it's just a weekend of debauchery, honestly. That is what the mobile tournament has turned into. It's just a bunch of guys that all, for the most part, appreciate each other and become pretty darn good friends. We talk every day, and just to, see each other in person and be able to hang out and play Golden Tee. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend. I'll be anxious to get on the mic and call some good matches. But one other thing I love about Chicago is there's a lot of wannabe Jim Nances out there, and a lot of my buddies, they love to get on the mic and call matches, like Walter Alberto Flores and many others love to get on there. Adam, not you, but my buddy from Philly will be on there, and many others. Tony Johnson likes to have 4 or 5 beers and get on the mic as well. So they give me a break.
Hey,
for sure.
The more the merrier.
That's exactly right. So I'm looking for fun, looking for some drinks. I would love to play well. I mean, I won the silver tournament last year. I got knocked down. I think the top 16 were gold, and I made silver in qualifying, and I won that. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing something like that again. I'd be happy with that.
Now, we don't have a Circa out near us in Chicago, but we got a few other,
Thank God.
few other casinos that, yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
I had to find a way to bring up Circa because that was one of my favorite Vegas nights of all time. Maybe not for you, but
well,
by the way,
I have fun.
We do have a Circa now. I just ventured
That's
to
true,
it.
actually.
It's at the Waukegan Casino. Now, I'm just saying, boys, like if you want to,
well,
just throwing it out there. Just
I lost
let me
enough
know,
money
okay?
in Vegas to last maybe 2 or 3 Circa trips. So I don't know that I necessarily need to play anything while I'm there.
Adam, you'll be busy next week with the family, so we'll just steal you for a couple of hours, swing by the Windy City Showdown, and then we can go right up to Waukegan.
That's exactly right.
Let me know. You let me know. No, we know you have to run. We are actually going to keep an episode tight for once, and we appreciate your time. Just as a reminder for anybody out there that is listening that plays the arcade game is probably wondering what the hell we're talking about. Golden Tee, Apple and Android, you can download it. You can play it. And also for our Worlds coming up at the end of June, I'm excited, Chad, and this I guess is maybe my last question for you. There's always a unique balance. You do these two tournaments separately. We bring them together. I get excited because it's like a celebration of Golden Tee, and mobile being as kind of the co-main event, so to speak. And I don't mean that in disparaging. I think it's exciting. There's gonna be more people in the room. I think there's going to be a bigger platform for it. What are your general thoughts on Worlds here? I know we have the event coming up this weekend. Well, what about Worlds coming up next?
I'm excited. For one, the venue, man, the Palms Hotel and Casino. That's pretty awesome. I can guarantee you I speak for most of mobile when I say we're excited to share the event with Cabinet. I mean, we are the arcade side. We're really excited about that. There's going to be arcade guys that, I mean, let's just face it, they kind of shit on the mobile game, and that's fine. I mean, arcade's not trying to, or the mobile side's not trying to steal anyone away from arcade. We're just trying to have our own little space here and just kind of do our thing. And I hate when I get online and I see comments like, "Hey, who gives a shit about this? Let's watch arcade," or like, just have a little respect, because there's a lot of arcade players that do play mobile, and
absolutely,
and they do enjoy it. But I will say that the mobile guys love being out there with the arcade because you've got a few players that go both ways. That sounds a little weird.
No, it's perfect.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So they'll be playing arcade too, and they love to watch. They love to watch the guys play arcade, and so there's going to be quite a few that are there for all 4 days. I know mobile's there Thursday, Friday, and obviously I'll be there Saturday and Sunday to cover the arcade side. But I think a lot of the mobile guys are going to stay so they can watch the arcade side too. So we're pumped.
Now, before we, plug this weekend's event one last time, in Addison, Illinois, people would be mad if I didn't ask about the very infamous piss missile comment, the call during some of the replays. Talk us through some of those fun, off the cuff, exciting calls that you do on the videos. Adam has done it a little bit when it comes to Worlds qualifying videos for mobile, but you have really become our go-to, working with Andy Kuhlman to, one-man booth, call those qualifying matches. And there's a lot of comedy and a lot of gold that comes out of that.
Well, the piss missile was kind of funny because Paco, he's from Chicago, actually, Walter Flores. He every night before he go to bed, he would campaign a hole on Agave Ranch. And he kept trying to hit it off the back waterfall and let it bounce onto the green and was trying to hole it. He would try that every single night, guys, like 2 or 3 times every night before he go to bed, just so he could save that shot. And finally, after like 2 months, just hundreds and hundreds of attempts, he hits this, what I could only surmise was a piss missile.
Twilight at Agave Ranch, Paco on hole 16. That's too much club. That is too much club. Look at this piss missile. Off the waterfall, comes back towards the hole 2 hop. Off the retainer. He made that motherfucker. How did he do that?
It hits this back waterfall, darts off the green, bounces off this retaining wall, and back onto the green and right in the cup. I don't even know how, even after 300 attempts, he pulled that off. I have no clue. And so I told him, I said, he posted that shot on the Facebook page, the Golden Tee Mobile Facebook page. I said, hey, send me that shot. And he did. And I had an app where I could kind of call action on my phone and just, do like a 15-second clip. And so I did that. And that one became infamous. And I hear that even from the arcade guys. They'll say, hey, let's hear about the piss missile. But yeah, that was kind of fun. That was Walter's brainchild of making that shot, and I just got to throw my voice on it. That was kind of fun.
If you want to learn how to play, by the way, go to YouTube. We've put on, I don't know how many matches over time. Like if you want to learn how to play mobile, and Chad, you've done an amazing job with the commentary. It got me through some of COVID, by the way. When this started and we didn't know what the hell we were doing, recording those in my basement was a lot of fun. And I'm sure you've had fun with it too. But now, we always tell people, how can I get better? Like, oh my God, there is a wealth of knowledge. And obviously the stream this weekend too, of how to get better in this game. And I think you're right. You can get better in a hurry. The arcade side with the feel and the reps, this is a little bit more of a contained experience, I guess, especially if you just have any familiarity with Golden Tee. So,
well, I'll tell you, hey, you would do that. You got us through a lot of the pandemic by calling the matches. I'm not kidding. And,
so much fun.
Dude, we loved, our goal was to get Adam Kramer to call our matches. And so when I get messages, I get them all the time now. My goal is for you to call one of my matches. Every single time I get one of those, and I'm equally as appreciative every single time someone sends me that, because I know what it means, because I could not wait for you to call one of my matches. I couldn't wait.
What's funny now is I remember we were handing over the reins, and Kevin and Andy are both they're listening to you, and they're like, God damn it, this guy is so much better. And they were very nice. Like, hey man, you got a lot going on. You're good, man. Chad's got okay. And
just
now
slowly,
listen, son of a bitch, he is better. Way better. God damn it. No, it's fun. It's the spirit of what we do. And honestly, it gets me excited for Worlds. It gets me excited. The commentary is where we can all be informed children when we comment on this game. Yes. It's kind of like this podcast. We keep it loose. We keep it, and also when there are moments that require tension, we do that too. I'm really looking forward to it. Well, Chad, good luck, obviously, this weekend. Have a blast. And we really appreciate all you do for our game.
Both, no problem.
Commentary and all you've done leading up to it. So,
and real quick too, action is starting on Friday, Schrump, just to be clear, April 12th through the 14th in Pyramid Sports Bar in Addison, right? Yep. I know you guys, I know you're getting into town early. I know there'll be a lot of people there. I will be there. Andy Kuhlman will be there. We'll be making appearances, but if nothing else, come for the pizza, the drinks, the camaraderie. And, if you walk out there playing Golden Tee Mobile and having a great time, then we all have done a good job, right?
Yeah, that's right. Doubles on Friday night. It's just a blind draw doubles tournament, $20. And then Saturday qualifying for the big tournament. And then I think we're going to do 1 or 2 matches, maybe Saturday evening, and then we'll finish everything Sunday. The food's unbelievable there. I'm a hog, and I love going up there just so I can eat and I can drink, and the service is outstanding. So if you're around the area, just want to check it out. I mean, it is a blast, and the weather looks like it's going to be extremely great. And we're on the patio most of the time. That is one thing about your phone. Just take it right out to the patio if you want to play, and 70 degrees all weekend long. Can't wait.
Well, for the Chicago people, being right off of Lake Street, right off of, when 290 becomes 355, or makes it really easy too. So no excuse if you're in the Chicagoland area.
Awesome. Well, Chad, thank you so much. We will have you on again. And in fact, leading up to Worlds, we'll definitely do a really closer look at Worlds to kind of talk in depth a little bit about what people can look forward to. For now, have a great weekend. And we appreciate it. Kevin, I'm Adam. Chad, we will talk to you guys soon.